Hi everybody, my name is Chris Cutt, NSXtra on Instagram and YouTube. I'm here at Wolfsgart. This is my dog Cassius, and we're in the camping section. This is in Vermont. And I just heard about this show, and it just sounded awesome right up my alley, camping with cars, and so far it's been a good time. I'm excited to see what the weekend brings. But my dog Cassius recently recovered from a stroke, which didn't seem likely at the time, but since he did, I decided to kind of hurry up and finish up this rig I've been building. It's still not quite finished, but finished enough for me to take it on a road trip. And the reason is I like traveling, but I want my dog to be able to pee in every state and smell all the smells. And the other night I brought him down south. We went to Florida, which is a bad idea in the summer. It was way too hot, but he got to pee on a palm tree, and that's something he's never done before. And it was something I've never done before either. So we both peed on the same palm tree, made a nice bonding experience. And we just crossed off all the states on the East Coast. We get to cross off Vermont now. And as soon as Wolfgart's over, we're going to keep heading west, but stay up north where it's cooler. And it's going to be kind of like the opposite of a cannonball run. Instead of seeing how fast I could do it, I want to see how long I could take, see if I could make it last a couple months. And maybe around fall time, I'll start heading south down the west coast, get Pacific Coastal Highway with the Pacific on my side of the road when I go down south, and I'd like to see him swim in the Pacific Ocean too, so I'm kind of doing it. It's just for both of us, and it should be a good time. I wanted an NSX since I was like 9 years old. My dentist used to have one. Me and my friends used to skateboard down there and just stare at it and drool like looking at it all day. And when I was younger, I used to surf Craigslist looking for NSXs before I could even afford one, or before I even had a license. And I finally got the chance to get one, and I realized I wanted to go on a road trip with it. And I realized they're actually pretty comfortable and reliable and practical, other than there's not a lot of storage space. And I've always wanted to do track days in it, and I've been saving up to do that. So it's on air suspension. It's not going to set any lap records, but I'll just go do it to have some fun. And the trailer should be good for filling it with wheels and tools for that kind of stuff. And it makes it a lot more practical. I can camp out of it. It's basically self-sustainable. I have solar panels on the roof box. The only thing I haven't figured out yet, I figured it out, I just haven't actually implemented it, is some kind of pressurized water system for showering and whatnot. But yeah, it's got a grill. I can camp right out of it. I could live out of it, and I kind of want to see how long I can last doing that with it. And then eventually I'll start hitting up some track days, and I think the trailer will be perfect for that. The trailer itself was totaled. It was hit in the ass end and the passenger side, and the owner at the time had bought it back from the insurance company, and he rebuilt it. And then he got a rebuilt title, which, I mean, there was some weird, as I started tearing it apart, I realized there was some corners that were cut, but that's neither here nor there. He got a rebuilt title, and then it was totaled again in the front, and this time it was hit so hard that the floors buckled and the frame cracked on both sides, and the pillars actually bent. So in order to repair it, even with cutting corners and making like a tube front end, it would have cost more than just buying an already sorted NSX, and it would have had to been cut where I cut it anyway. So I just did the first part of the repair, which was to cut it in half, and then I just kind of left it there. And now it's become, it can never be on the road legally again once you total a car twice. But I got a new VIN number issued for it. It's now a trailer VIN number, and it's a homemade camp trailer, according to Connecticut. So it'll still make it to track days. It just won't be driven. I first heard about Wolfsgart years ago, but I had just heard about it. I never looked into it. I just assumed it was only Euro cars, and for the most part it is, and there's a lot of awesome builds here. And then when I found out it was actually camping with cars and essentially just a big party and a lot of events, I had to come. So I messaged the guy who runs it, and I said, hey, am I invited to come camping with you guys? And he was like, is that even a question? Of course, come down. So far, it's amazing. From what I understand is it picks up more during the weekend. And if what I've seen so far is any indication of how the weekend's going to be, then I'm pretty excited. My favorite thing about Wolfsgart so far specifically there's a lot of cool cars here. I've been meeting a lot of people and seeing their builds, and I'm excited to come back next year and see how they evolve. But there's one guy specifically here that has another car trailer, and I always love seeing those. So at Wolfsgart, everybody seems to be really friendly. There's all kinds of cars in various stages of builds. There's beautiful, I've seen exotic cars, I've seen really beautiful builds, and I've seen all clapped out rusty things, and those are actually my favorite. I love seeing like old patinaed rusty cars or like steampunk kind of builds. So there's a lot of that here. So no matter what you have, you're invited to come down. I think one of the best reasons to come to Wolfsgart is just for the experience of it, to get away. Vermont is beautiful. There's a lot of stuff up here, and you're going to see a lot of interesting builds. People come from all over the country here, so definitely worth coming to check out.